Welcome back for tonight's Area Code. We're headed to the 202 to hear how a local man is once again working to make a difference right here in his own community. Our Adian Detil has that story.
The last time we met Trinh was in October. The pandemic devastated his small business, Hot Pink Photo Booth, and with all of his newfound free time, he decided to give back to his community. He already started a successful coat drive, and soon after, he realized another need: helping people keep food on their tables.
Food is such an essential need for us, and during these hard times, people might not be able to afford food right now, especially people who are unemployed and facing other hardships.
After finding a spot in Brooklyn where he could set up shop, he ordered shelves online and got his food pantry started. He posted on social media asking everyone to send food. Soon, he was getting 30 to 50 boxes a day. Now the pantry is open 24/7 for anyone to take whatever they need. No sign-in, identification, or conversation necessary.
And I think that's really important for some people because this might be their first time experiencing unemployment or going through a hardship. And some people they might have pride. They might not want to get in line to go to a food bank.
Now he started his own nonprofit called With Kindness DC, along with a GoFundMe page so that it would be even easier for locals to help him keep the food pantry afloat. His long-term goal is to keep expanding the pantries until there's one at every public library in DC to help make all locals' lives a little bit easier.
Just showing a little kindness to each other really, can change someone's day.